The one thing we refuse to admit is that we are dependent powers that are beyond our control. Carl Jung.
The pre-mortality world was wicked, sinful, and beyond saving in many aspects. The majority of the living was brutally ruled by a few despotic dynasties and merchant families. Corruption, desacralization, moral degeneracy were present in the upper class, and enforced cruel morality, intentional poverty, hunger and misery for the lower classes. The land was barely able to maintain the stagnating population in Europe, and if nothing would happen, this situation could go for thousands of years into eternity. There were minor signs and warnings from various divine ways, revelations from saints, and miracles, but none was taken seriously. The exact starting event which triggered the avalanche of death and decay is unknown. This could be revealed in the future in a form of a novel or book, but at the moment it's a mystery. What is for sure, God of the Old World, as Oldgod, sent his wrath throughout the earth and cursed the land to bleed poison to mankind. The plague was spreading like locusts on a cornfield. Through the major roads, sailing routes, the sickness reached the whole continent within months or a year. Even the remote islands weren't safe from its pale hand. The terrible deaths of millions brought the civilization of the known world to its knees. The order was falling, and the civilization started to cannibalize itself completely. The non-existent abundance became everything scarcity, while all the social fabric of the states has been fallen apart. Small settlements lived remotely could stay untouched from the first wave of the plague, but eventually, with some strangers, merchant, or even some animal brought in the village, the dark fate. After the Black Death, there was silence. A deadly calmness fell upon the continent, giving a moment of consideration for all of its survivors. They could think it's over, and they are the lucky ones who survived. After that, a short period of weeks or months, the whole wrath came upon them. The dark trees appeared during the longest night of the year, growing unnatural fast, strong and high, destroying the local flora and chase away the animals around. The survivors started to cut these cursed trees, but with very little success and with great sacrifices. Any who dared to cut off these pine trees of the forest became very sick and died within days. The people gathered up to burn down mile-long former forests to prevent the spread of these new infestations. There was some level of success. They could burn them down, however, these trees started to bleed some liquid, which on fire smoked a deadly fog. This darkened the sky and created a constant surreal mist together with the natural clouds. The daylight became darker and darker every day, like being a rainy day all the time. The visibility also changed with the growing appearance with these mysterious fog. These mists were different than their natural siblings. Their presence made breathing difficult and forcing the ones inside to cough. The worst thing inside is that you give out your position with a firm cough because things, creatures from who knows where, appeared in the border of your visibility, mostly within 10 meters, to silence the source of the sound forever. These were part of the happening of the plane collapse where these fogs originated from. These cracks on reality itself, and the mist can be seen around them. Later then the forest took over these areas, grown around these mists with the cracks too remain hidden till some bold unlucky adventurer or woodsman walk into it. The other type of fog is the infamous terror, death murk or death fog. These are appeared later in the Pestilence history, when the clearing, the area which the forest grew around, where the kingdom territory lies. The fog is appeared randomly and could devour settlements or camps next to the border of the forest. There are a few warning signs from nature that such event is imminent. Strange behavior of the livestock, bad dreams for the locals, or strange, scary, human-like sounds brought by the wind from the forests. If these are neglected, then within a few days or a week, during a night, a death fog is crawled into the settlement and infected everyone within. The worst of the plague was inside these mirks, which killed almost everyone in the affected territory. The pestilence could bring end to a human within mere hours, or they can last for a few days perhaps. During the deaths of the masses, the released energy was so much while escaping this reality that broke the pillars of the world and broke through the places where normally should not. These created the cracks where the planes became interconnected physically. When all of these things has happened, the legend says, the judgment has completed. Oldgod left the world to its doom, a long-awaited suffering for all of those who survived the first plague. Later, many waves of pestilence followed the first one, however none of those come too close in the level of devastation. There are multiple origin stories, creation myths for the world of pestilence, and those will be revealed during this series later. Until next time, beware the roots.